Japan's planning something, a sentence which arose in everybody's mind the moment the news of its new innovation popped up. What if I were to tell you this new innovation could change the entire drone warfare? Imagine a war weapon intended for one-time use and made with cardboard. Doesn't sound like it could do much, right? But you'd be completely wrong to think so. In 2022, a cardboard drone was deployed by the Ukrainian forces against the Russians. This deployment made a critical shift in modern conflict. When a system can be produced faster and cheaper than it could, the burden of the war no longer hangs on the offender's shoulder and shifts to the defender. Following this about a couple weeks ago, Japan has established this idea, but better. A Japanese startup has introduced a combat drone with a similar but simpler and disruptive idea. The AirKamuy 150, introduced by AirKamuy fixed-wing combat drone. Its fuselage is made up of reinforced cardboard. The cardboard is reinforced and treated in such a way so that it could withstand heat and temperature changes. The top speed of the drone currently stands at 120 kilometers hour, with its range being 150 kilometers hour, although further updates could bring about advanced changes. It may sound like a fragile drone, but its explosive payload stands around 1.5 kilograms to 2 kilograms. This move by Japan reflects a pivot from reliance on expensive, long procurement systems toward rapidly scalable capabilities amid tensions with China and North Korea. One major point to note about this advanced drone is that it can be shipped flat and can be assembled in only 5 minutes without the use of any tools, and also be deployed at scale with minimal logistics effort, allowing rapid deployment by ordinary soldiers. Each unit costs around only $2,000, which is even less than the fuel burned the fighter jet being sent to intercept it, making it less than 1% of the price of conventional small military drones used by the US, Navy, or Japan's self-defense forces. Even though we're just getting started on the topic, I think you might have already understood the advantage Japan stands at against its enemies like China. Japan is accelerating deployment of this low-cost cardboard drone, signaling a shift in modern warfare from technological sophistication to cost efficiency and mass deployment. The drones, developed by Japanese defense startup AirKamuy and supplied to the Defense Ministry, are designed with reinforced cardboard structures that reduce radar detection while dramatically lowering production costs. The model, known as the AirKamuy 150, represents what analysts describe as a low-tech, high-tech approach. Its wings and fuselage are specifically engineered to withstand humidity and temperature changes. Unlike other war weapons, the real impact of these cardboard drones lies not in their physical destructive power. Defense systems may expend surface-to-air missiles costing hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to intercept drones worth only a few $1,000s. Now, of course, a single cardboard drone sounds pretty lame, but if they are deployed in large numbers, the drones are capable of so much more than you could even start to think of. But most of all, their capability to overwhelm air defense systems through swarm tactics, exceeding interception capacity, and depleting missile stockpiles stands out. Japan's defense minister, Shinjiro Koizumi, has often expressed his intention to expand unmanned systems since taking his position. Japan's defense budget for fiscal year 2026 reached about 9 trillion yen, or approximately $60 billion, with significant allocations toward drones and unmanned systems. About 277.3 billion yen, or roughly $1.9 billion, is earmarked for drone deployment and procurement. A key initiative is the SHIELD system, a layered coastal defense network that integrates thousands of small attack drones, unmanned surface vessels, and unmanned underwater vehicles to block enemy access. Japan is also diversifying its defense supply chain by incorporating startups like AirKamuy, reducing reliance on major defense contractors, and enabling rapid wartime production, potentially even converting civilian cardboard factories into drone manufacturing facilities, which is a huge step. The Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force is already using the AirKamuy 150 as an aerial target drone to accumulate flight data, which could allow rapid conversion into attack drones through software updates. Production and deployment bases are being established in strategically sensitive island regions, including the Nancy Islands, where low-cost deterrence is seen as more practical than deploying expensive assets. Japan is bringing about huge changes regarding its defense system, almost as if preparing for something big. Is it just a speculation or the start of an actual conflict? China still remains Japan's biggest rival. Although neither side wishes for a war, suspicion has raised on both sides. Not a question, but an uncertain thought which has led to rising tensions and preparation on both sides in anticipation of something big. For years, the rivalry between the country has not been given much attention and been treated as a recurring diplomatic irritant. Despite the bitterness and frequent tensions over disputed islands, China and Japan have managed to maintain a deep, intertwined economic relationship. But the latest escalation seems different. It has hinted on a broader strategic question of whether Japan will remain a restrained power or will become a mightier military actor in the balance of power against China. Recently, the suspicions have been confirmed. Tokyo has chosen the latter path, and Beijing doesn't seem to be happy. The most immediate trigger for this rising tension was Prime Minister Takaichi Sanai's statement in November 2025 that a Chinese attack on Taiwan could possibly lead to a survival-threatening situation for Japan. That specific phrase would have been fine if only it had been stated by a personnel who did not hold as much power as the actual speaker. The moment the words spilled out of the minister's mouth permitted the deployment of Japan's self-defense forces. China demanded that Takaichi retract the remarks, arguing that they violated the political basis of the 1972 China-Japan joint statement, which set the framework for diplomatic normalization. Takaichi refused to back down. The result has been one of the sharpest deteriorations in their ties in recent years. A number of recent developments have made it worse. In March 2026, Japan deployed its first upgraded Type 1-2 land-to-ship missiles with a range of about 1,000 kilometers, giving it a standoff capability to at least reach the Chinese mainland. Although Japan is preparing its defensive as well as offensive capabilities, Beijing has its own concerns about China's plans to deploy missiles on Yonaguni, Japan's westernmost island, around 110 kilometers from Taiwan. The passage of the Japanese destroyer JS Ikazuchi through the Taiwan Strait on April 17 aggravated Beijing even more. The date is important because it marks the anniversary of the treaty in which Taiwan was handed over to Japan, a painful historical event for China. The Chinese Foreign Ministry wasn't satisfied with the result at all. In response, China carried out military patrols in the East China Sea and sent warships near Okinawa after the passage. Now, whether Tokyo intended the 17th action symbolism isn't even the point. During a crisis, interpretation matters more than intention. Beijing is now reading these actions through a cumulative lens, suspecting escalation of the situation. Currently, in China's eye, Japan is becoming a more active military player in the first island chain. Japan's new inventions are strengthening its offensive capabilities, with China reciprocating its efforts. Both the countries stand at alert with suspicion of a secret plan planned by the other. Although the tension has been rising constantly, no obvious move has been made. But what do you think? Will these rising tensions lead to something big, or will it extinguish with ease?